Hey, Chris Payne. Welcome to Friday Vibe with Integrity Magazine and myself, Paula Love Clark, giving you a little interview tonight, having a little chat over a glass of something.
It is. I've got the Tesco's green. I think it's called green. Yeah, it's Tesco's own ginger wine. It's cheap as you like. You can't really go wrong.
Is that your tipple?
It is my tipple. Yes, my 40 Tower Alan Partridge watching Friday night chilled tipple.
Friday night chilled tipple. I love it. Well, I've got my Diet Coke.
Oh, that's good. Sophie.
no, I wouldn't normally have a Diet Coke. It's just I promised my mate, who's a film director in Alabama, who's been drinking far too much. I promised him that I wouldn't drink until Saturday, the 4th of July. So I've got until tomorrow. Well, kind of being good. It's a Diet Coke. So, yeah, but welcome to Integrity Live and welcome to the Friday Vibe. This is singer-songwriter and musician Chris Payne. Please, everyone who's listening, please like and share. And let's get that interview out here. So, Chris.
Absolutely.
You are just at the tender age of 25.
25. Yeah, 25 to 30.
Claire Armstrong said, hi, Chris. Yay, Chris Payne. Hey, Claire.
I can't see anyone who's saying hello, but I'm
going to say. No, she can't. So you can't. So she's got, I'll do this show. There you go. I think I'll put it up. She said, yay, Chris Payne.
That's my mum, that is.
Oh, hi, Mum. Hi, Chris Payne, Mum.
Look, I'm on the telly.
Yeah. So already by the age of 25, you've had two bands. Is that right?
Yeah. Two bands, two
main bands.
Yeah, two main things I've kind of had, not simultaneously.
No. But what age did you start out?
So my first ever venture into music was, this was quite funny actually, because my dad had it up on his computer and we were all sat around watching it on my birthday. So the first gig I ever did was when I was 8. I was doing some kind of Meatloaf tribute act, I suppose, because that's all I would sing on the playground, is just sing loads of Meatloaf, because that's what I brought up on. So my dad helped me put that concert together, and we played to about 200 people in the theatre in Burley Village Hall, and then from there on, I just didn't really look back. I always knew I wanted to be on a stage, and it happened under the name Malt Loaf.
And in the name of what? Sorry.
Malt Loaf, as opposed to Meatloaf.
As opposed to Meatloaf. And you play mainly classic rock covers. Well, you did, didn't you, in your first band, Colt 45?
Yeah, Colt 45. We did all sorts of covers. It was predominantly our inspiration came as a band from the likes of Guns N' Roses and AC/DC and people like that. So we just played all the songs that we loved, basically.
And you've got a bit. Sorry, go on, carry on.
Yeah, no, we were writing from day one, pretty much, music together, all 4 of us. But we didn't really start taking our own seriously until we got a production deal later on down the line, and that's when we began to change names.
And who is the main songwriter within the group?
Well, we all had ideas. All 4 of us would write music together in a room, and that would be it. You know, we did things like that. It was all together, really.
Okay.
Or sometimes Russ was the guitarist. He would come up with an idea, and I would come up with an idea, and we just had like a bunch of demos, basically like recordings. Like back then, I wasn't very internet savvy back then, so I just kind of had things on my phone, just me whistling.
And did you have access to a studio at the time?
We had like a rehearsal space, which was Andy's dad's shed. That's the first place that we did these, and we had access to a studio once we were working with Red Triangle Productions up in Cranbourne.
Okay, what age was that?
Home studios were our main thing. I think I was 16.
Okay.
That started happening. Yeah, I think.
So talk us through. So you're 16 years of age. You're at school, because you could leave at 15 then, couldn't you? That's the thing. You could leave. I don't know. I'm not sure, because I'm thinking back to when I was younger. Could you leave at 15?
I think it was 16. So basically, I actually did end up going to college after that, music tech course, which is basically like all the studio stuff, all the things that I didn't really know how to do because I was already performing by then.
Okay.
So music tech course after college, and then as soon as I hit 18, that's when I just started doing more gigs, solo gigs by myself.
I'm going to show the comments.
Hello, Jeremy Leslie Smith. He was the first manager of Colt 45. That's
oh, was he? Oh, that's amazing. So tell me about, go on, tell the viewers about Colt 45. What was it like being in a band when you were a teenager?
A lot of fun. There was a lot of fun, a lot of fun to be had. And we basically we just had a ball with it. Like the first day we met each other, we headed off straight away. We ran through some songs that we liked. We basically had a set list in the first hour because we had all been talking over MSN, which is what was the chat site back then. And 8 days later, I had a festival booked at Dameron Festival, which I was going to do a solo set. So 8 days later, 8 days from the time that we actually met, we were already playing a gig together, and then we never had a break. The longest break we had was probably about a couple of months, but gigs just kept on flying in and opportunities of all sorts. And so that's how that happened. But
and then what happened?
Well, we were growing up together in our teens, and we just didn't want to stop. We wanted to take it as far as we could. Things got really serious as well. So this is all before the guys went to university, and we just made sure that we had whatever we were doing, we had as much fun as possible.
Yeah, exactly. And what were your dreams? Did you have dreams? You've got some people from South Africa watching you. Hey, Petrus. Petrus Nell is watching from South Africa. You've got Mark Smith. You've got your old band manager, Jeremy Leslie Smith, saying hey. You've got Rogero Callow saying yo, bro. So what were your dreams? You know, so you're teenagers, right? And you've 8 days after you've started, you literally aren't stopping. It's gig after gig. You know, you're building up a reputation. People are, making you feel good about yourselves. What were your dreams at the time? How did it feel being a teenager and having all these eyes watching you, having all this attention? How did it feel?
Well, we definitely reveled in it. That's you have to when you're that age, and everything seemed. And we literally wanted to be Guns N' Roses. We wanted to be the biggest thing. The biggest thing going, and so the main thing is that we have fun with it. And so nowadays we still perform as Colt 45 maybe twice a year, just because it's fun to do. It's fun to put together a big gig, and we were playing Mr. Kipps, which was like one of our dream venues when we were going out and seeing gigs as a band and things like that. We always just wanted to hit the Mr. Kipps stage, and so they helped us a lot get to
where were they based?
Mr. Kipps is in Poole, Parkstone. It's it's unfortunately it's closed down, but the brand is still going. Well, it was before lockdown. Our last gig was in February at the Wimborne Allendale Centre, and that's through Mr. Kipps.
Right.
That was this year. That was earlier on.
And you talked about Guns N' Roses, and when you were playing at Camden Rocks Festival, you actually had Izzy Stradlin from Guns N' Roses. He was a bit of a fan of yours, wasn't he?
Yeah, he there was a friend of ours who played keyboards, and he knew Izzy, and it was through him that we just kind of got that conduit, and that's exciting. It's just well, we had a video called Getaway. That's the song that we had, and Izzy put us all on his YouTube channel, which was amazing. And
so at that stage then, so you've got Guns N' Roses, he's from Guns N' Roses and he's quite interested in you, and he put you on his YouTube. How did it feel to you at the time, and your band members? How did it feel thinking, we're in it for the big time now, this is it?
It was exciting. It really was exciting. We didn't really think too much about the future. it's, you know, we broke up for the reasons that, you know, life started to get a bit more serious. How long could we keep on going and doing what we were doing? And we it wasn't bitter when we broke up. It was just okay, well, that's as much fun as we have with that. You know, what's the next thing then? And they're all very talented people. Scotty on the bass, Andy with the drums, Russ on the guitar, and they've got projects going on now of their own that they're striving in. So, like, the thing is, the most important thing for me, anyway, is that we grew up together as, you know, almost like brothers. Like, we were a very tight knit family, and we still kind of are in a way. You know, just as four friends who had a bloody great time in their teens.
And what happened after Colt 45? How old were you when you felt like this was coming to an end? When you kind of like thought, okay, let's slow down?
Yeah, I think I was 18 when that's kind of when that happened, and then after that, I kind of just took loads of opportunities, and I just let things happen nice and naturally. That's what I like to do. I don't like to pressurize things too much. I don't like to rush things. Certainly don't like to rush things. But it's I think it was 2014, got a call from a guitarist who was in a band called Heaven's Basement, and they were signed to Red Bull, and they had a gig coming up in the Red Bull Air Race. Initially, I just went up to Leicester to go to see the boys, just to kind of have a writing session. But I ended up doing a gig for them. That was an amazing experience. But the thing is, like, they're a rock band, and I was writing all kinds of different kinds of stuff then. You know, I was getting more into Prince and Bowie and things like that. So I had to make a really hard decision to not go with them, but just to kind of maintain whatever journey I had, which was, you know, writing my own kind of music. And I just wanted to make sure that I had enough doors open to do whatever I wanted with it.
And you were in the am I right in saying that, you know, you were in the playlist for Kerrang? I've got to write, check it out, for Scars, for Planet Rock.
That's right.
Was that what Colt 45?
That was with Hightown Parade.
Hightown Parade. We haven't spoke about Hightown Parade, so guide us now. You're 18. Guide us into Hightown Parade.
So Hightown Parade kind of came about when I realised I needed another band around me just to cater for the amount of music that I had in my head. You know, so I needed some members basically, and so me and my manager, we found some people in Brighton, which is such a cool, eclectic town. Great place for thriving musicians and people of the like. So we got hold of two people who are in a band called Galen Stapley and Chris Sanson. They we hit it off on the first day. We were just talking about music. We were sharing each other's demos and things like that. And it was then I'd gone through a few lineup changes of many different musicians, and I kind of just thought, well, maybe let's try this out for a year. They had their project Azure, which is like a prog metal thing. It's kind of, I don't know how to place them actually, their music, because it's so all over the place and amazing to listen to. So if you do get a chance to check out Azure, check that out. The three of us, we came up with the name Hightown Parade. I can't actually remember how that came about, that name, but it just is. It's there. It exists. So we then got EO on the bass, and she joined with Georgia as well. The thing is with lineup changes is it takes a lot to find the right people to make it a thing and to make it all work. And so we rushed it quite a lot on the first one, which is why we called it a day after a year. Even though we got so far, it needed to feel right. They had their projects going on as well, and to push a project as far as it needs to be, you literally just have to have this 100% commitment to it. So that's why we decided to have a break, which brings me up to around now, where Hightown is about to come back with some other members.
So tell me then, what did you learn? So you must have been, how old were you when you took a break?
It was a couple of years ago. My memory is not very good. So
By 23-ish.
I must have been about 23, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so you're 23. You've had relative success.
Yeah.
You could have gone one way or the other. You've had different band members.
Yeah.
And I know that.
I understand it's all quite like it's all over the place, and it is in my head. And this is exactly how it's coming out. So this is how I remember it. But yeah, that sounds about right.
But what was it? So how did you embrace that time off? What did you do with yourself? How did you regroup? How did you feel having time off from something that you've been doing since you were 16 years of age? What did it feel like?
It felt very good to just to allow myself to have the space to then kind of say, okay, this I want to be carried, I want to ride the wave. I don't want to. I'm not very good at making those kind of forward-thinking decisions. I like to be wherever's happening now is obviously what's meant to happen. So that's the way I like to look at it.
And so, did you find that you refocused, regrouped? Or are you still going with the flow? Are you still going to see what happened? Or do you have a clearer vision of what you want?
I'm still going with the flow at the moment, but I want to get some more music out there. Obviously, before lockdown, we had loads of plans to do that, get some video done, things like that. But it's kind of put that on hold for the moment, which is fine because it's not like it's not going to happen. So
we've got Jeremy Leslie Smith said 16, Chris was 12 when we started Colt and gigging. You were 12.
13 was when that 13. I was 13 when we first started Colt.
Wow.
It was 16.
Pretty amazing.
I was 16 when we got the production deal. And we started writing our own music under the names Bad Magic and Water Night. That was when I was 16. But Colt 45 was going since I was 13 or 12. I can't remember. You probably remember more than I do.
I know. And so COVID came, lockdown came, you had all these plans because I know that because we've got mutual friends and I know that Hightown Parade is very, very well known in Bournemouth and the Hall of Pool and it's all around there. And you're very well known, your band. And you yourself as a musician, singer-songwriter, musician, you're very well known. So I can imagine you've already got a fan base waiting for Hightown Parade to come back in, really, the gigs, the festivals. The pubs, the clubs, etc. They're waiting for you, aren't they? In a way.
With Hightown, we're not gonna go down the pubs and clubs route just yet. I think we're going to be very selective of where we play because our drummer is in Newcastle and EO, the bassist, is in Brighton. So we're all a bit all over the place. So to get together and do a gig, it takes quite a bit of planning anyway. I think it's important to be really selective of where you play because you can always get stuck in a rut, especially in a town like Bournemouth. It can be a bit of a bubble sometimes. So it's a very good practice ground to do things, which is what I'm doing alongside of the bands I've kind of been in, just playing solo gigs, and occasionally I slip in an original.
And what have you been doing during lockdown? What have you been producing? What's come up? Have you had any golden nuggets coming up? Any good ideas? Any great songs?
All the time I'm writing, and it's normally me at a piano or me with an acoustic guitar, and I just kind of record it to my phone, and then I only put effort into recording things properly for a studio when I've got the lyrics to a song. When I've got the actual idea, lyrics don't come that easy for me, so I'm always kind of hearing music and hearing ideas and hooks and things like that and holding on to bits like that, and then one day the lyrics will just kind of take wing and then a song's created.
So you don't start with the music, you don't start with the lyrics first, you start with the music and then the lyrics come? Yeah,
mostly. Yeah, sometimes they come at the same time, but mostly it's just it's the music. It's something that I hear in my head, and it's I can kind of visualize myself performing it, and then the lyrics and the meaning comes after that.
Excellent. And so let's talk about your environment. Okay, so currently at the moment, if you tell everyone where you are and who your lockdown buddies are, it gives you everyone an idea of the kind of life that you live.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, when the lockdown, before the lockdown started, me and my girlfriend went to Cornwall to just kind of self-isolate and get away from the virus. And then obviously while we were there, they said it's lockdown. So we didn't really know whether to just pack up, stay there, and come back here, or just kind of ride it out on the edge of a cliff. So that's what I was doing. Obviously, I didn't have a studio down there. I had some kind of dodgy phone app that I was using to put songs together. But when people could travel again and things started to kind of ease down, I came back here, which is in Blandford, Winton White Church, and it's with my dad. I'm currently sat in his studio at the moment. It's with Si Gennaro, who's been our lodging buddy ever since about 5 years ago.
I love Si. He's crazy as anything, isn't he?
There's not one quiet moment in this house. It's almost like we have shifts. Like there's the daytime people, it's Dad and Mel, and they do their daytime things, and then I rock up at about 8 p.m. with Jordan, who's my stepbrother. He's a great musician as well, a great singer, frontman of 27 Days. Don't know how many people have heard them as well. They've been going for quite a while. So there's never a dull moment in this house. Never. We've got a piano in the other room. We've got pianos in here, guitars everywhere.
And your dad as well. He because it's a studio, so it's Hangover Hill Studio. So obviously he's got his job. You know, he manages the studio, he produces, etc. But he's also a comedian, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. So,
and he's so funny. So I can imagine with the craziness of Si, and then you and Jordan playing, you know, gigging all the time, and then you've got your dad just like quipping in all these jokes, and I can imagine it's quite a crazy thing.
Si's just as bad. Si's just as bad, but well, I mean, there's a lot of sense of humour here. Like we always just make sure I think it's quite light-hearted, and we inspire each other in so many different ways. You know, obviously before the lockdown, we had all go off to our gigs on the weekends and then come back together and be like, "Oh, how was your gig? You know, and what happened here? What happened there?" There's always a story to tell.
Yeah. And is your girlfriend, is she involved in music as well?
She's not involved in music, but she's actually a very good singer, but she barely sings, but bless her.
And what about so lockdown, we don't know what's happening with the pubs, the clubs, the festival, the festivals. We're not sure. We're all kind of like tiptoeing through everything at the moment. Anyone who works in the media, music, entertainment, film industry, we're kind of not really sure what's going on. So what's your mindset then as a musician, singer, songwriter? What's your mindset in where do you see yourself in then, or what do you see your projects doing in the next 12 months, for example?
Well, I think Hightown's going to get on its legs very soon. We're actually going to meet up and discuss what the plan is, you know, because since the lockdown, we kind of let go of the rope a little bit. I mean, we haven't lost the vision or anything like that, but I can't really say too much about it at the moment because it's all yet to be announced. But we're going to get some videos done. There's going to be a lot more original material out there from me. Obviously, we've got 3 singles out at the moment. And so that's going to happen with that. In terms of gigs, though, in terms of what's happening, I've been doing lives online.
Okay.
And so basically, like a venue. I'm doing one tomorrow night at Payne Central in Parkstone. A venue.
Hang on, you need to say that louder and slower so everyone can hear.
Payne Central in where is Payne Central? Penn Hill. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, like they've opened themselves doing food. The original idea was I was going to go down there and play some songs, but they said no live music in pubs. So they've got loads of screens of me around.
Okay.
It's going to be quite funny.
That's brilliant. And then I don't know what's happening with festivals or at all, but you've done a lot of live gigging, and can you see yourself going back into that if the festivals open up or if these music events open up?
I mean, with festivals, it's definitely going to be something that my band gets more involved in. But I mean, as soon as I can get back to gigging again, because that's been my main income anyway. Doing covers, it takes a long time to actually make anything through selling records these days, just because of the way that it is through Spotify and things like that. So doing the covers gigs is kind of like is an income for me. So as soon as we're allowed to kind of get back to doing that, I will be. But until then, it's just safer just for me to stay here and outlet my streams onto wherever it is.
So for the viewers who don't and the listeners who don't know you, tell us what's your music influences? What kind of covers do you like doing? What's your kind of genre?
It changes every minute. It just does. It all depends really. I'm quite eclectic. I was brought up on Meatloaf, obviously. Then through the Colt 45, we had the Guns N' Roses and AC/DC, Alice Cooper. I could keep on going, reading off those names. And then came Bowie and Prince. It was just their infectious kind of. It's almost like their seamless effort to portray whatever they were portraying musically is something that I've been very attached to. And that's, if I could sum anything up, that's basically what it is. It's Bowie, Queen, Prince, Meatloaf.
What's your favourite song to sing?
It's a hard question.
It's not. Top 3, top 4. Only because I can't count. Top 4. It was 3, but one got stuck.
Number 1 is always going to be "Bat Out of Hell" by Meatloaf, because that kind of kicked off everything for me. Thing is, I change my mind every day. That's the thing. I get up listen to 9 Inch Nails sometimes, who are industrial metal, or sometimes it's Jeff Buckley. It really just depends. I mean, because there's a lot of different reasons why I like singing a lot of different songs. So Bohemian Rhapsody, for instance, always gets a really good reaction whenever I play that. That might be on there, I guess.
What's your most requested song when you're playing?
Bo Rap is always requested.
Which one?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh.
By Queen, yeah. And then Romeo and Juliet as well. That's probably second.
Really?
Yeah, people seem to like my version of that. It's just a nice little chilled out song. I don't have to hit the high notes and scream my lungs out every time I play it, which is quite nice.
Some of the songs you said, like "Bat Out of Hell," "Bohemian Rhapsody," they're quite exhausting songs to sing because they're long songs. They take a lot out of you, don't they? So
yeah, I think
how do you keep yourself going?
It's well, I don't know.
Adrenaline.
I don't know how I keep it. Sometimes I surprise myself. I go to a gig and I'm really not feeling up to it, and somehow from somewhere I just get the energy to do it. I think you just kind of get yourself in a frame of mind where you're not really thinking about what you're doing. It's just kind of, it's almost like muscle memory, and you just want to, I always want to be the best that I can be in that moment. So.
So you're Claire Armstrong, I think is your mum, said Purple Rain.
Yeah,
that's her favourite.
Purple Rain is another one. Yeah, that gets requested quite a lot. Is that
your mum's favourite, or does she say that is just one that gets requested?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, it's because of my mum and dad. They're responsible for my music interests.
Your mum's laughing.
Chatting to people while we're having this chat, actually.
So what's your mum and dad's favourite? What do they ask you to play?
Well, Purple Rain, obviously, that's one.
Purple Rain.
I'm not really sure, to be honest, because obviously, this is something we haven't talked about, is the fact that me and Dad do gigs together as well, every now and again. And we've been gigging ever since. Sweet Child of Mine, like I always says.
That's a lovely relationship. I mean, obviously your mum's on here; she's supporting you. You're in your dad's studio. You live in this crazy situation, which I don't know. It just sounds amazing in many ways. That the influences that you've had on you. I mean, and bearing in mind you're only 25, so You know, we've had lockdown. You've had a year off. I mean, you've had a year off, and you know, you've got some plans for the future. You've already established yourself as a singer-songwriter, musician in your area, in Camden Rocks Festival.
Camden Rocks Festival is something.
Yeah.
That was just after. So when Hightown Parade did that, we did also years ago play Camden Rocks with Walk the Night, and that was the same band as Colt 45, which is a different name. But when we did Hightown Parade, I literally got there about 2 minutes before our set time. I think I was stuck in traffic or something like something ridiculous like that. So 2 minutes came and we all flew in, got the gear, but people actually turned up to the set because where we were playing Vinder's over in London, it was quite out of the way. So I was surprised that a lot of people would actually come to see our set, and thank God I made it. Excellent.
You've got some stories. You'll have some stories. You'll be a dad's age, and you'll have some stories to tell your kids. But who knows where you're going to be, right? So if anyone wanted to, go on, you say.
No, I was just agreeing. It's wherever I want to be. I mean, I want to make it very, very. I mean, I want to be as successful as possible. I want to make sure that I get it right when I get out there, you know. And I don't want to take the easy route and go on a TV competition, which has been suggested to me so many times. I want to do it with my own music and my own kind of way.
Work your way up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's a solid, the most solid way to do it.
Julie Russell says, "Well done, Chris."
Hi, Julie.
So if anyone wanted to hear your music, they wanted to get in touch with you, because, you know, we have all kinds of people listening to Integrity Lives. Where could people get hold of you? Where can they watch your music? You know, where can they get hold of you, Chris?
Well, to listen to music.
Yeah.
Yeah, to listen to the music, you just type in Hightown Parade. It's on Spotify. We've got a couple of videos out on YouTube as well. Hightown Parade. No, we've only got 3 singles out at the moment. There's a lot more to be released soon under that, so give us a follow. And that's.
I just put Hightown Parade and Chris Payne in the comments if anyone wants to check them out.
Absolutely, yeah. So Spotify is probably the best way.
Yeah, Spotify.
Yeah.
Well, we come into the end of the broadcast. Thank you so much.
No worries. I know it's been all over the place, but so
you carry on.
How about that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you should be so proud of everything you've done. I'm just going to put another "Stay real to yourself," Ruggiero Carlo says. And, you know, you should be really proud of what you've achieved, you know, up to the age of 23. And then, you know, to be a 23-year-old and say, actually, I'm going to take a break. And I know that one of your drummers gone on and done pretty amazing things around the world. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. Carl Hughes is going to be drumming for us, and he's played with the likes of Bumblefoot, who was also an ex-Guns N' Roses member, and Marco. Is it Marco? Yeah, it is Marco. He's the bassist from Whitesnake. He's played with Thin Lizzy. He's played with all different people. So Carl's got a lot of experience in himself. And the thing is, with me and him, we can just, and we all bounce our experience together. We bounce off each other in such an amazing way that I'm really excited for everyone to see when it all comes out.
Yeah, I'll be supporting you. I'll come down.
Thank you. No, I do appreciate that. But things are coming.
Jordan says he's woken from his slumber to support you, Chris.
Thanks, brother.
You just coming to the end, Jordan. You'll have to catch up.
I'll tell you about it.
It's been so lovely having you on here. And, you know, if anyone also just plug Chris's dad's studio, Hangover Hill in you can get in touch with Chris, but it's Hangover Hill in Dorset. But whereabouts in Dorset is it?
Dorset, it's Winterbourne Whitechurch is where the actual studio itself is. They've got a Facebook page as well, and there's all sorts of exciting things happening with Hangover Hill. They've got their TV station up and running now, which happens every Monday with Origineros. Some other programs that are happening as well. So people should get in touch with that and see what's happening locally.
Yeah, my daughter's actually been in there recording. She recorded her first, well, because my daughter's a singer-songwriter just starting off. She's been there. She loved it.
That was wicked. Yeah, well,
were you there as well?
I don't think I was there when she was recording it. No, I was. I don't know where I was, but I heard the song and it does sound good. So
yeah, she's not releasing that at the moment, but that's her story. This is about you and Chris Payne. So proud of you, who you are. You've done amazingly well. You know, it's lovely to have your mum on here and Jordan and, you know, everyone's supporting you. And Julie Russell says your mum and dad are so proud of you. Of course they are.
I'd like to say thanks to everyone as well for that support. It does mean a lot.
Lovely. So everyone share away. Give Chris the support that he needs to take Hightown Parade forward into this crazy, crazy time of ours. And you know what? One thing I've realized individually myself is that it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond. So if you're forced to slow down and take a break and just respond the right way and just think of the future, but regroup yourself and refocus, which is exactly what you've been doing the last 2 years. Well done.
Well, thanks very much. It's I've still got some more regrouping to do within myself, but things happen in their own time, and they happen naturally, and that's the best way for anything to happen, because otherwise it just doesn't feel real. So yeah,
thank you so much, Chris. And don't forget, everyone. Jordan said it's rock and roll. Don't forget, everyone. Like and share, Integrity magazine page, and you can see more interviews every Friday on the Friday Vibe, and we have interviews happening all week. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you for everyone who's come to support him tonight, and we will see you very soon. We look forward to seeing Hightown Parade.
Cheers. Thank you so much, Paula.
Thank you. Have a happy Friday.
You too. Woohoo. See you later.